You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun, let's rock it.
Your Trash Pandas are back in the Rocket City for one of the final 3 homestands of the season, August 12th through the 17th. The homestand includes Oktoberfest on the 14th, post-game fireworks on the 15th, a youth jersey giveaway on the 16th, and concludes with Kids Run the Bases post-game on the 17th. Get your tickets for the homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Hampton Cove, and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Calling all UAH Charger students and parents. Welcome to Nexus, the first student apartment community built especially for you. Nexus is brand new, located next to the UAH Fitness Center. Enjoy your own bedroom, bathroom, fully furnished units, kitchen, washer, dryer, study room, and game lounges. And best of all, an easy walk to campus and classes. Call today to enjoy the complete college experience. Move in before fall classes start. 256-683-3939. And go Chargers.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Walking you up to Braves baseball after getting swept out by the Brew Crew. I mean, as soon as that home run was hit in the 9th inning by Michael Harris II, I said, oh, look, another one-run game. Yeah, another one. 5-4 final score.
Well, hey, the one bonus is at least he's freaking raking now.
So there's that. That is Drew DeArmond.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sitting in for Wes Neighbors, and I just would point that out. I mean, because a lot of people were giving up on Michael Harris, and he's still a very young player.
Oh no. Even when it got to the lowest of the lows, and I saw, who was it? I think it was Chris Domino saying he needs to go to AAA to figure this out. No. That glove is way too valuable.
Well, and
way too valuable.
Just listening between the lines to the Ben Ingram and some of those folks, and do a great job.
There's also a lot of money involved, too.
Well, they have him signed to a lucrative contract, a relatively cheap lucrative contract, if that makes any sense, but economical anyway. Mm-hmm. And they did make an adjustment. Supposedly, I think I heard Ben reference that they made an adjustment with his hands, and they adjusted his stance, and he's starting to figure things out.
By the way, watching a Braves game television-wise, storylines.
I can't really do that.
I mean, I'm telling you, storylines for right now, that they went to their 7th inning stretch thing where they try to feature a story.
Yeah.
The story, female umpire going to go for her first assignment in Major League Baseball this weekend with this series. That was their story.
Well,
nothing to do with the Braves. That's zero to do with the Braves.
Hang on, I get it, but that's not a 7th inning story.
It
is
when you're 47 and 66.
I was going to say death, taxes, and another loss to the Brewers, so they got swept. I mean,
the Braves are 17 and a half games out of first place. These are my Braves that I grew up with here.
Besides, at that point, you just grab part of the phone book and read it. Nobody will notice.
I mean, besides the Barrett Sallee curse.
Oh, wow. You're going to do that to him.
Yeah, well, he unfollowed me anyway. We unfollowed each other.
But I did text him at one point, someone's got to be to blame here, and I might be texting the guy. And he was like, ha, 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 ha.
Well, no.
Because I'm sure he's getting it all over the place.
Well, and I did congratulate him when he got the job. Yeah. I know it's his dream job, and I don't look down on that at all. I'm happy for him because I know he's always been an unapologetic Braves fan, and I respect. I've been a Braves fan.
I'm right there with him
my whole life, and I'm not going to hold it against anyone getting their dream job. That's awesome, but it's just one of those things, that you couldn't help for it, but to go through your mind because of some of the things he said analyzing college football. Again. But baseball's different, and I'm sure I'll get used to his analysis. And I mean, he replaced Kevin McAlpin.
So Domino and I used to run the games back in the day.
Yeah, I know Domino's been with him a long time. Yeah,
very. We were back at Old White Columns back in the day.
Yeah,
and it is fun to see somebody like that you worked with be that consistent. And he's a baseball junkie. It's fun to hear Domino on the Braves radio network more than anything.
I guess, and it's still just taking me getting used to whenever you go to pre or post game and the first voice you hear is Sallee. And it's just
well, even Ben saying now Barrett Sallee.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's just taking some time to get used to, but I'm sure he'll continue to, get settled in, and hopefully the Braves will turn it around next year. And, the last time they had a bad season, they certainly came back with a vengeance. So hopefully they can do so this year.
Look at there. Brent Musburger's on Golick and Golick. He's right behind you. Anyway, it was fun to have Mr. Musburger in a few days ago. Anyway, pardon me for...
Hell, Mike Sr. has more hair than Mike Jr.
Yeah. And anyway, that is... The Golick and Golick show on FanDuel, I've been watching more and more of lately. It's a 2-hour show.
Haven't I heard that Wes Neighbors was the taxi driver for Mike Sr.?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
That'd be neat. That'd be some neat stories.
I'm working on that. Next week, you might want to listen. But I'm working on that.
That'd be nice. I mean, and we could also ask Mike Sr. about his speech before the 2012 National Championship game.
So, earlier in the week. When is Alabama's first scrimmage? Is it Saturday morning?
Saturday morning is the A Club scrimmage, and then of course on the 16th is Red Elephant Club and all those other kind of things for on the 16th.
So at least this part of Ryan Grubb, who spoke to the media 2 days ago,
right,
tells me Alabama's got themselves a starting quarterback.
Right now, we're keeping status quo. All the guys have been getting 1s, 2s, and 3s, with the exception of Ty. He's the only guy that's not taking any 3 reps. So really, it's been status quo. But today, everybody got a couple racks with the 1s, and Ty took a couple with the 2s. So we're still moving them around, and the guys know that there's a pretty clean picture moving forward throughout the week.
By the way, if you want like tangible information on your Alabama Crimson Tide, seek out Ryan Grubb. Just listen closely to Ryan Grubb. But he's a fun listen, 1, and 2, he'll answer questions.
He will, and study up on his music, which is fascinating.
Okay.
His favorite song is "Seek and Destroy" by Metallica.
Wow. Do you think we will hear that inside Bryant Denny?
Well, you'll probably not.
Why not?
Well, no, what you'll probably hear, that's the song he plays right before they go out on the field for Ryan Grubb.
If it works for him, I would change Thunderstruck.
In his
I know
headset.
you wouldn't change Thunderstruck,
No,
but if it works for him, I mean,
I'm just when I reveal that little piece of information that was gleaned by our good friend Ryan C. Fowler, who joined us this morning. That's
he woke up that early?
Well, of course.
Wow.
I mean, when you're at the beach, you're going to do that.
Oh, that's right. It's his monthly trip to the beach.
But seriously,
courtesy of his wife.
Yeah, it's always nice. And it's a quiet time. He can he can just chill out a little bit.
Poor thing.
But the thing about it is that it's
vacations are great, aren't they?
Yeah, it's more about the mindset though of Ryan Grubb. Yeah.
Anyway, so when I saw this, it says, and I wish I could give full credit to this podcaster, but he titled it such a long anyway, it's on YouTube. Jimbo Fisher was on a podcast, and who
was the stenographer for the podcast?
One of the early questions is in regard to Nick Saban.
He was a defensive guy and took care of the defense, and he wanted you to play a certain way on offense. He and I had a great relationship, and I have great respect for him. Learned a lot of football from him, learned a lot of organizational things. And I was, you had the Bowdens, and I had Nick. I mean, that was blessed at an early age to learn how to do. And there were two different people entirely. And maybe two is the most. You got the all-time winningest coach here, and they took a couple. We still should be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And Bobby Bowden and Nick has won the most championships, and they did it two different ways. Yeah. So you knew there was, as I always say, there's two different ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? You could do things a different way, but I kind of took the best of. I thought of both. Mm-hmm. That's what I always had to make it my own. I always say this as a coach too. What made both of them unique and successful? They were themselves. They weren't fake, and that's Bobby did it one way, Nick did it another. And I always thought always said, kids and people won't follow people who are fake or try to be somebody else, because it bites you. You know what I mean? And I think being with those two guys at an early age, I think really helped me out. And I think I hopefully took things from both guys.
Good Lord, he just outed himself.
It gets better.
I mean, LSU, when we went there, think about this. They only had 3 winning seasons in the 90s. Everybody thinks of them now winning like crazy. They only had 3 winning seasons in the whole decade of the 90s. Yeah. And the 2 years before we got there, they were 3-8, 2-9. And we went in, we were able to go 8-4 and kind of change the mentality. I mean, our practice. I mean, you remember how our practices were? Yeah. That's exactly how those practices were. Our practices were the hardest part of the game. The games were the easy part. Even though you played great opponents, the competition and how we pushed and challenged and what we always tried to build. I always believe this. The one thing that was hardest to simulate that most people never can simulate is pressure. Because you say, well, I practice easy when I get in the game. I always say this. Remember this statement I always make. When pressure comes, your habits are coming straight to the surface. What you did on a daily. Yep. And what your habits are is what you do on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So that's your practice habits. And remember, our practices were like, I tried to get you in a mindset of, in practice, to put as much pressure or even more pressure on you as you had in the game. So when the game came, it was natural when you reacted and you played. Those teams right there that was the epitome. That those teams started. That's where we did it before, but those teams were exactly like, they were physical, they were tough. Michael Clayton, Andrew Whitworth, Spears. We had Marcus Spears was on that. There was Rohan Davey, Tofield, Dom. If you go there in the list, Josh, there were so many great players, but one thing they had in common that I always said with our Florida State, we're very similar to I'm going to tell you what, they wanted to win and didn't mind working to win. Mm-hmm. Their dreams and what their habits were is how they practiced. And we included that, and we were physical and we were almost brutal in practice. Huh?
Yeah.
And they were too. And that's where I truly believed in that. And our Auburn teams were like that. Our Auburn teams that won 20 in a row, and Willie Anderson and Steve Davis and Damon Craig was there. All these, we had Stan White, Pat Nix, and Bo Nix's daddy, Pat Nix, he played for me there. He was there for me there. And we had a guy named Gary Walker on defense. And there was Frank Sanders and James Boston. There were so many great players there. It was crazy. And it was the same. Those teams were physical. And I knew if we were going to win national championships, we had to be like that. And those teams at LSU their practices, man. You had, just like our guys, there'd be 8 guys drafted on one side, 8 guys drafted on the other. They go at it every day.
Yeah.
Pride took over.
Oh, hang on. Here
but
it comes.
The thing both teams did, that I always said was great, they respected. In other words, you really knocked the heck out of each other, but you didn't try to hurt each other. There was a respect there and learn how to practice. But those teams at LSU, man, they were physical. And turning that whole tide of getting LSU to win. In 2000, we won 8 games. 2001, we lost a couple games, and we were struggling on defense. And Nick always wanted to play balanced. He never wanted you to be wide open on offense because he wanted to help the defense. In other words, don't put him on the field too long, control the clock.
Well, he later went on to say at one point, he finally told the offense, just go score as many points as he can. And the LSU offense was pretty elite.
Yeah, they had Jamarcus Russell at one time, and he was a supremely talented young man.
I know everybody labels him as a bust, but not in college.
No, not in college and not in high school. But I will say he was coached by Jimbo, and tell me one quarterback Jimbo ever had that it was ever worth 10 cents in the pros, because Jimbo is a play caller. He's not a quarterback developer.
I thought you'd enjoy hearing from Jimbo Fisher,
especially when he uses the word fake. Really enjoyed that.
I really could not help myself.
If they figure out you're fake, they won't follow you. And I was like, what happened to A&M? Fake. Dirt neck. Good grief. And yet that just shows what a lack of self-awareness he had going after Saban the way he did. And the reason he yelled so loud is because of what they were doing, which was not the right thing.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy that yells the loudest is the one cheating the most. That's the way it works. When you're so adamant about what you're doing, it's because you're cheating, okay? The Reverend Freeze did the same thing at Ole Miss. If we're cheating, go to the NCAA. We're catching big fish. Well, we all know how that ended.
Yes, we do.
So, and that's why he needs to start winning at Auburn. Okay. He's a good football coach, but he better start winning.
Did you hear Hugh yesterday?
We played some Hugh this morning.
His opening statement, I imagine Scott probably did play his opening statement of, it
disturbed me a little bit with Jackson Arnold because he said we weren't very good today. We were better yesterday. And then he was talking about kind of the RPO reads and things of that nature. And what I said this morning is that's coaching. That's not Jackson Arnold's fault. That's the coach. And then the thing that he said at the start of camp that raised a red flag for me was Jason Caldwell, great friend of Talkin Ball in 97.7 The Zone.
Well-respected writer.
Yes, because he asked him a question about he asked him, did you guys and DJ Durkin, did they take it easy on Jackson Arnold in the spring? And he said, yes. And he said, and we need him to be confident heading into the season. And this is another Druinary, red flag, red flag, red flag. That's what I started saying today. Like, if I'm an Auburn fan, that's
you don't want that. You don't want that.
You got to push your quarterback, man. And it's coaching. And Peyton Thorne was not a great player last year, but I didn't think they coached him very well. And I think it also shows, no disrespect, but the difference in competition in the Big Ten and the SEC. Because the Big Ten is good at the top, but it's not as good at the bottom.
Yeah,
and Thorne was considered an upper-level quarterback at Michigan State in that league. He wasn't at Auburn. But he made some big mistakes, but I just didn't think they coached him very well. And I thought Hugh Freeze, when you're throwing your players under the bus publicly, that's
more than once too.
And that to me is a huge red flag as a coach. Why do you want to play for somebody that's going to throw you under the bus? I mean,
if you'd like to join the program, you can certainly do so. 256-576-4977. The telephone number. Gus Malzahn spoke to the media as well after Florida State scrimmage number 1. And I've only listened to Gus little bits and pieces when he went to Central Florida, but I honestly forgot about the artwork that is Gus saying words and not saying anything.
Is he that kind of guy that can make those adjustments? Yeah, he did it last spring too. You know, he's one of those 50-50 guys that really are probably more like 70-30 since he's been here, you know, which is always good. We just need more other guys to come along, you know, with him.
I mean,
who was he talking?
Doesn't matter.
It
probably doesn't matter.
Not.
That doesn't really matter. And there's one other question afterwards with like a 10-second answer.
Run the ball. I mean, how good is it that those details are kind of coming along at fast?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he's got a really high skill set. You can tell that through the first 6 practices.
I mean, that's Gus.
Gus. You are the king of the teleconference.
That's Gus.
Didn't he have some 2- and 3-minute teleconferences?
Oh yeah. No, there for a while it was called A Minute with Malzahn for a reason. My minute with Malzahn.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
The longest answer was, "How you doing, Steve?"
Yeah. I mean, even the late great Bob Holt wouldn't get very much out of him as well, and they're Arkansas boys.
How you doing, Bob?
Yeah. Ray Dog has called in. How are you on this Thursday there, Ray Dog?
I'm well. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing well.
Doing well, Ray.
You know, it occurs to me with the whole Malzahn thing, he has always come across as the living embodiment of the way Nick Saban answered the reporter when they kept poking and prodding him about who's going to start, Tua or Jalen. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, so quit asking. Yeah, that was Maria Taylor, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. She never returns messages.
No, she does. She really doesn't. And I got her cell number, and she hasn't returned a message.
So
in
we
quite some time.
we can throw him under the bus there.
Yeah, go Dogs.
That's the way that goes. So, you know, it occurs to me. I don't know if you saw my comment on the YouTube channel during the Blitz.
No, I did not.
Okay.
My apologies.
You and Honk were talking about Hugh Freeze and Eli Dershowitz, a heck of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my question was, if he makes the playoffs over there in Missouri, are we talking about Lane or Eli being the front runner for the head coaching job at Auburn?
Well, I've already been going there with Eli even being the front runner in Florida. If things go south, it's Billy Napier.
But I
think he would be high up listed Auburn.
But I asked this morning, Drew, what's a better job, Auburn or Mizzou?
Well, right now, Mizzou has better NIL laws as far as trying to get players.
With the kids in the state. Yeah.
And does anybody know, have y'all checked what Eli's making money-wise?
I did. I have that. Hang on. I've got that.
All I'll say is that
4.5?
No, sir.
No, it's up.
Ray,
and that's honestly.
I'll give it away, Ray. Just double what you just said.
9. It's $9 million.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. 9 million.
Mark Stoops is making $9 million, bro.
No.
Lane Kiffin, Drankowitz, and Heupel are all making $9 million this year.
Wow.
Stoops is just a hair over $9 million.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly's at $9.9 million.
Yeah.
Sarkisian's at 10.5. DeBoer's at 10. Kirby Smart is making 13.2 this year.
That's what I'm saying. So what I mean is it's harder to hire coaches now because they're all making huge money.
Yeah.
because I think Freeze is making about $6 million. I think he's making about
6.7
because Pittman's making about 6.
Pittman is 6.4.
Yeah, about the same money.
Yep.
I've always said about Lane, unless he's just got this itch to climb up the ladder in the hierarchy of what is considered dream jobs in college.
No, I think he's turned Ole Miss into his dream job. I never saw him staying as long as he is.
Make his $8.5 million and go home.
$9 million, yeah.
Well,
in Mississippi.
And I will say, if he thought long and hard about it, he could have had the Auburn job the last time. They would have chosen him over Freeze, but he decided to pass, and because that flirtation got rather public. I mean, it got rather public, so a lot of people thought he was going to go to Auburn.
Use his leverage to get a little more money out of Ole Miss.
And
let's face it.
Yeah,
Auburn doesn't do loyalty. And that's a huge red flag for that whole athletic department.
Well, to me, if I'm going to mention coaches that Auburn might be interested in that may reciprocate it, it's going to be difficult to hire guys, but I would say Drinkwitz because he's a Malzahn guy and he's familiar with Auburn, but I would also say John Summerall, who has been in the mix at Mississippi State and at North Carolina and things of that nature. And he's a Huntsville, Alabama native. And then another one, the one that might be the front runner, even though the place he's at, it's in a weak Power 4 conference, and they have very deep pockets money wise. But again, he is very well known to the Auburn boosters. Is Rhett Lashley?
Yeah.
I mean, does he think? Here's the thing. Would he have a mindset like Brian Kelly when Brian Kelly left Notre Dame? Like, I've got Notre Dame as far as I can get them. I'm never going to win it all. Does Rhett Lashley think that playoff berth at SMU is going to be the pinnacle? I'm never going to win a national championship, no matter how much money they got. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think for him,
does he go back to Auburn?
What is important to you?
Yeah, that's now. Yeah.
The trophy is not the end-all, be-all.
And like I just said, Ray, SMU has very deep pockets. I mean, if some of their boosters, the loyal guys, they want to just, keep throwing money at it, he could. And then if they're in the upper half,
Trans Am's for everybody.
Yeah, and if they're in the upper half of the ACC, they're going to be happy. Like, they're ecstatic to be in the group of 4. So there's a different set of expectations out. Now, it may ratchet up now that Rhett did get to the ACC championship game. They may expect more, but we'll see. I mean,
wind his way in,
so I don't know. Well, I just think those are some of the 2 or 3 names that I think would probably come up in connection. And then, as we've seen since Coach Dye retired in '92, pretty much the only coach, and it's ironic because it was the first one that was hired that didn't have a ton of Auburn ties was Terry Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in state just down the road at Samford, and they were going through probation.
And Jimbo referenced it right there.
Yeah. And so, but I don't know. And, well, they can have Jimbo, but I sure wouldn't. If they hired him, I couldn't stop laughing.
I vaguely remember there was rumors about Auburn talking to Kirby Smart back in the day.
There was. That got down the road a little bit, but what I heard, and look, man, I loved Coach Dye. I loved having him on the drive, and I had a chance to talk to him. He was an encyclopedia of football, but I think everybody knew Coach Dye still had a lot of influence there. And all I'll say is Kirby's thought was he wouldn't have total control of the football program. And that's why he didn't make that jump to Auburn.
And Kirby to South Carolina, I thought was real.
It would have been
very real.
If Georgia did not decide to fire Rick,
if they did not pull the plug
he
on
would
Mark
be at
Rick,
South Carolina,
and this would be South Carolina on this run.
Probably, maybe. I mean, I definitely think he would have won enough games to stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, South Carolina's fan base is a great one, and they're not. Well, we got to win, a playoff. We got to get in the playoffs every year. We got to win. No, they just want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I completely agree with that. That's why Georgia made that move, because a lot of people didn't think that Rick was going to get fired.
Thank you, Ray Dog.
I'm serious. They didn't think that they didn't think Rick was going to get fired. And then I think Georgia realized timing-wise, like,
I mean,
we're not going to get Kirby. He's fixing to go to South Carolina.
I mean, just keep in mind, it's not like Georgia was in a bad place.
No,
but
it wasn't in 15 years.
It wasn't in a South Carolina place.
Well, let's put it this way, Steve, because it went south the last year and they had a mediocre team. They didn't have a bad team. But don't forget, because of that Ole Miss debacle going into the rain in Athens, they were favored to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And they were ranked in the top 10 in the country.
Yeah.
If they win that game and go on to an SEC championship game or something, he ain't getting fired, okay? But they realized that the homeboy that they always, and really wanted, if they didn't make a move, he was going to South Carolina. And it would be harder to get.
I'm thinking about the potential coaches that didn't get that job at Auburn, because I can even remember an interim coach in Kevin Steele.
Well,
and that got
they wanted him.
86'd.
Well, and what I heard when Auburn was interested in Kirby is if everything had come together and Kirby thought he had control, Jeremy Pruitt would have maybe been on his staff and been defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But who knows?
But
it didn't surprise me from the standpoint because Kirby is like Coach Saban. He wants complete control.
Yeah.
And he didn't think he was going to get it.
And it took Alabama a minute to figure that out too, of giving a guy the keys and just saying go.
Right. And they did that with Coach Saban.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, you have to, and then Alabama did the right thing by hiring a very, very competent athletic director who empowers coaches and who pays them well and then gets out of their way. But then it handles fundraising, handles the day-to-day operations like a professional operation. In other words, I'm sorry, but John Cohen has transitioned from a baseball head coach to AD, and Ray Tanner did the same thing.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see that nearly as much anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to be hiring ADs who are not former football or baseball or basketball coaches. They're going to be administrators.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the era we're in with NIL and everything. But it is what it is.
If you'd like to jump on, you can do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. The Game Day podcast dropped yesterday, and they had several things to say, including about the upper tier in the Southeastern Conference. And yes, Alabama. I'll let you hear what Reese and Dan Wetzel had to say on the Crimson Tide. Plus, they also, where did I put it? Is this?
You got a national champion out of the SEC or not?
So we'll find out whether or not Dan Wetzel thinks there's a national champion now that we're in this gigantic drought of 2 whole years without an SEC champ. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. It's The Drive here on a Thursday.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event at Woody Anderson Ford. Hey folks, Bobby White back again, and I'm here to tell you now is the time to get the Ford you've been thinking about. From 0 down leases to 0% financing, we've got it going on this summer. Woody Anderson Ford has financing as low as 0% for 48 months, plus 0 down payment, plus 0 payments for 90 days, plus 2-year 25,000-mile complimentary maintenance. You can choose a 2025 Escape, F-150, Explorer, or a Mustang. Or how about 0 down lease, $499 a month for a 2025 Explorer, F-150, or Bronco, and just $399 a month for Bronco Sport, Mustang, and Escape. Again, these are 0 down with complimentary maintenance too. This is a 36-month lease with 0 down, 0 security deposit, just tax, tag, title, and your good credit. These offers end 9/2/25. It's our Woody Anderson Ford Summer Sales Event, so hurry on down. I'm Bobby White, and I hope to see you soon.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in the garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $3.49 while supplies last. Go to owenappliance.com to learn more. That's owenappliance.com.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile, and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99, or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, FDIC.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Drew DeArmond, Steve Moulton with you here on a Thursday. Tomorrow at this time, you're going to get Atlanta Falcon football as the Falcons get ready for Game 1 of the preseason, taking on the Detroit Lions. Game 2, by the way, for the Lions, as they were in the Hall of Fame game a week ago tonight. By the way, we are once again your home for Thursday night football. You name it. Saturday night, the Sunday night, Monday night game, Super Bowl, all right here.
If you like football, you're going to love us.
And we're also your home for the SEC Radio Network. Their Battle for Atlanta show premieres tonight, but we're going to tape delay it and play it Saturday mornings. This Saturday, the following Saturday, and the Saturday after that. But you'll also get the reports and everything. How is your DeArmond? No, you have not. So for lunch today, and I'm sorry I did not bring enough. I'd be surprised. Brody's right behind you running Trash Panda. I went over to, by the way, you can hear Trash Panda Baseball on Talk Radio WZZN. I went over. What's that?
Doubleheader today.
Yeah, that's right. I went over and enjoyed a couple of zone deals. And right now, Full Moon Barbecue, $20. Oh, wait a second. I don't see Full Moon Barbecue on my rundown.
Uh-oh. They've sold out.
So I'm glad I did that earlier today.
Yeah. Folks, you got to move fast on these. If they are great deals. It's a great way to double or more money.
Putting money in your pocket.
And it's like we're paying you to eat there.
Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Bubby's Diner is up there. Bubby's, the milkshakes are fantastic. We're really at both places. Tried them at both. Bigfoot Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms. That would be the Decatur location there on the Beltline. The End Zone is still up as well, and they are back in the fold for the fall. So excited to do some remotes out there at the End Zone. Harry has called in. You can as well at 256-576-4977. How are you, Harry?
Hey, guys. Great show today. Interesting speculation y'all are having. Should Freeze not be successful this year in his 3rd year? And again, I'm an Auburn fan, not a big Hugh Freeze fan. I think character matters, and I think he's a little bit lacking in that department for me.
He has really painted himself in a corner, Harry. He has.
And what I wanted to frame with y'all a little bit, having a perspective of being a 74-year-old guy that grew up in Middle Georgia and how the Georgia football politics plays out and works out, I believe Auburn had a shot at possibly picking up another Georgia boy for a coach like they did Pat Dye, who got tired of hanging around Alabama for 9 years coaching linebackers, left the conference and then quit a job out in Wyoming to drive to Auburn and interview for a job.
That's right.
And Bear tried to talk him out of it. But again, he was very successful in that. I think what happened, the pressure on Rick to deliver another national championship and the pressure that the boosters were putting on him to do that, I think Kirby read the leaves right and said, wait a minute, I'm tired of being with Saban. I need to get on to being the head coach to get my career down the road. And the threat of Auburn snatching another Georgia boy away from Georgia, that pushed it. As soon as that rumor got started, he cooled on discussions, any type of discussions of anywhere Mama's calling, I'm going home.
Maybe I'm wrong, Harry, but I was led to believe that the South Carolina deal was about 90% done. And when some of the bigger wigs in Athens found out about it, that's when it got real. And the discussions were, do we really want Kirby Smart head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks? And I think because it's not as if I know there was a bit of a step back in that 2015 year, but it was still a 9-3 year. It was, I don't think the program was in bad shape at all when Kirby came in and took it over. But it was obviously hindsight being 2020, a very intelligent decision, and it has obviously worked out pretty well for the Dogs.
It has, but again, they were frustrated with a consistent 9-3, but not a shot at a national championship since the Walker years.
Well, but it was essentially that SEC championship game. What, in 12? I want to say that was the national championship game. We all know it was the national because of what Alabama did to Notre Dame.
Beautiful.
So I won't clog up the airways any longer. But I tell you, if we're going to talk about speculation of what's going to turn out at the end of the season before the season starts, as an Auburn fan, if I was looking at a poachable coach, I believe I'd be looking at Beamer in South Carolina to replace Freeze, and I think he'd be a good fit. He's got the right mentality. He's got a right personality. He's got a strong coaching heritage and character through his father there in West Virginia, and he'd be a great fit there at Auburn. And I hope Freeze all the best. If he can turn it out, that's fine. But I'm not a big Hugh Freeze fan, and I'm doubtful he's going to be able to hold it together much longer if he doesn't have a very strong performance this year. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I always listen to your show.
Thank you.
Again, all politics are local and everything local is political. But when it comes to football, I think y'all do carry a good balance. And I really appreciate your coverage of high school football in the local area. I grew up in the Middle Georgia area, and they had a great AM radio station there in Macon, Georgia, and he covered the high school football games on Friday night.
Well, which station? Well. I'm curious.
I want to say it was WNEX out of Macon, Georgia.
Okay, gotcha.
But they would do a live broadcast from Porter Stadium that had been built by the CCC, and now the Mercer campus is right in the middle of that area. But it was a great way to go to Friday nights. It hold about 3,200 people in standing room only.
So, Harry, this may be a conversation for me and you only, but when I was part of the Braves radio network, I would periodically reach out to the affiliates, and I was told about a certain guy in Middle Georgia named Happy. He was a DJ named Happy who would go off right in the middle of a DJ shift on the air. I want to say this was like mid to late 70s, early 80s is what I was told, just roughly. But I really tried to dig in more about Happy in the Middle Georgia area. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or
no, I don't.
Okay.
I'm 74, and I left there to go to Auburn, having never been on campus in 1969, and went in the Army in 73 and full 30 years in the Army. But I've got friends back there. But I tell you what we really need to get working on.
What's that?
Luther Williams Field is the second oldest minor league baseball park in Macon down at Central City Park.
Yeah.
We need to get the SEC teams in the ACC teams to do a fall classic there and have two SEC teams play two ACC teams there in the fall for fall ball at that second oldest ballpark in the minor league.
I think isn't that where the Macon Bacon are playing, or
Macon Braves, Macon Peaches. I used to see Felipe and Manny Alou. Saw a lot of young Braves before they moved to Rome. I don't know where they are now, but
yeah,
great atmosphere down there. Great atmosphere around the river down there.
Yeah, that's right. I really enjoyed. I appreciate the phone call, Harry.
No problem, guys. Appreciate your time. Always a great show. Your compadre there is probably a walking encyclopedia of
if he knows something about Happy, a DJ from the mid '70s in the Macon area, I will be just floored more than anything.
The only Happy I remember is the booster in the program. Well, I mean, excuse me, Blue Chips. I'm sorry.
Oh, Blue Chips. Okay,
Blue Chips, you know.
Yeah.
Happy was basically.
So I was told that he just would go on these tirades.
Okay.
Just randomly back in the day. This is the Macon area.
Yeah. Happy helped him sign Butch McRae and Neon Bordeaux and Ricky Rowe.
So when the Braves radio first formed, it would hop from signal to signal to signal. They didn't have satellite, and they would literally get it off of another station and air that back in the day. So I imagine that probably took place with the Crimson Tide Sports Network as well back in the day.
Yeah.
You have no interest in what I'm talking about.
I don't know this Happy. I just know. I know the Happy from Blue Chips.
So anyway, I could get off on a tangent. There are certain things when it honestly made me curious of this DJ in the middle 70s.
I'd probably like to hear him.
Yeah. I would love to hear it as well.
I mean,
by the way, one of the things that I did do after Bulldog Hotline was record the Spotlight on Sports with Larry Munson. It was sold, but Larry would hit the post every single time, and it was hardly ever about sports. Hardly ever.
I mean, I'll be honest. The greatest rant I've ever heard on the radio had nothing to do with our state, but it was back in 2006 when John L. Smith was coaching at Michigan State.
Oh,
and they blew a game against Notre Dame, and Mike Valente, who is a institution over there and a Michigan State hardcore guy, went ballistic for about 30 minutes. I've never heard a producer continually tell a guy, "You've got to stop. You've got to stop. You're going to pass out."
So I've only got one of these. I've only got one of these. And I did reach out to one of my old bosses and said, "Hey, did you have Munson's Spotlight on Sports?" "Oh, yeah. Okay, can I get it?" No. Because there's actually quite a few. Yeah, didn't age too well. But this one, because I remember. Anyway.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
My former father-in-law was a giant man, 375 pounds, and occasionally when you could get him away from my cigars and my whiskey and my television set, he would go fishing or hunting with you, but usually just once a year. We called him Big Harry. Everybody did. And he owned a beautiful over and under Browning shotgun. It was worth a lot of money. One weekend, I lined up a great all-American type hunting trip for him, a private farm full of rabbits and doves and quail. I told him we would have some fun, take plenty of shells. We were going to shoot at anything and everything. Naturally, we got there in the blackness before daylight, but the farmer was there waiting for us, said he would drive us way down to the back end of the property and let us out there. It had started to snow on that December morning in Tennessee, and in the car's headlights it seemed to get thicker and thicker. I was sitting in the back seat. Big Harry was in front with the farmer and his dog. The dog was a huge, apparently high-strung golden lab. He was sitting between Harry and the driver. As we slowly bumped along in the frozen ruts and snow, the headlights could barely penetrate the falling snow. I was leaning forward and petting when it happened. The farmer suddenly saw a rabbit in front of the old car and said, "There's one." Big Harry hollered, "Where?" And what we didn't know was his gun was loaded, the safety was off, and he banged it on the floor, and the gun went off. And the big guy said, "Where?" And the trigger went off and the shot roared a deafening noise. He blew a giant hole in the roof of the car. And all hell broke loose then. The big dog literally screamed at the noise in his ear and pooped all over the place. And I mean all over everything. He was frantically clawing at the door on top of Big Harry. He was pooping in a steady stream at the same time. The big man finally got the door open and rolled his huge body out on the road while the dog kept pooping and ran screaming into the woods. Harry lay there covered with dog poop, and so was the whole front seat. Somehow some poop got up on the windshield even. Big Harry looked like he had one of those camouflage suits on. Farmer had some too. I was down on the floor of the back seat literally dying at what I had seen. Even the expensive shotgun was covered with poop. I never saw the rabbit. Larry Munson, Inside on Sports.
I never saw the rabbit. I never saw the rabbit. I never saw the rabbit.
Goodness.
Now do you know? Now do you want? I know, but he hit the post. That was exactly 2:30, by the way.
That's all. That puts a whole other spin on Bleep hitting the fan, brother.
That hurt.
Oh, and so back in the day, we had these pancakes.
No, I banged a rib going out of the house today. I'm over in pain from that.
So
I'm seeing stars.
You would stop after he was done with a certain day, and these pancakes were just reel to reel, and you had to just cut off. And I kept that one, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And then all of a sudden I called my boss and was like, what? Well, it can't be that. Just go ahead and play it. So I put the phone up to this is like, because we record this after Bulldog Hotline on Sunday night. So this is like 10 o'clock maybe, because I'd turn around and be there for Atlanta's morning news in the morning. And my favorite was Scott Slade's reaction to every single one of them, because it would play, I want to say, at 6:47 every single morning. And Scott's reaction was priceless too. It was just like
seeing something like that happen, which obviously Larry did see it.
Thanks, Larry.
See it live.
I saw it in my head.
I think I would have been like Larry. I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been laughing so hard I wouldn't have been able to stand up.
I mean, keep in mind, this is back in the day where there's no Cool Edit, there's no Adobe Audition, that there's no that's a take right there, and to end it with,
I never saw the rabbit.
I mean,
those guys are rare.
Yeah,
I had the good fortune of working with the late Malcolm Street back home in Anniston, and was a guy like that. Mr. Malcolm used to he started that radio station in 1938 and was not a young man at the time, but he would call baseball games on ticker tape. Wow. And he's the guy who would do commercials. He'd walk through, grab the newspaper ad for his client off the news guy's desk, clean a tape cart, and do 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Exactly.
Well, it does remind me of when we had Brent Musburger on a couple of days ago, and he mentioned Howard Cosell picking up the phone, doing his thing, putting it down, and that's how it's done.
Yep.
Wow.
That's how it's done.
You know, we walked among giants.
Yep. And you know what?
I never saw the rabbit.
I can just tell you this. Valentes was back from 2006. I cannot believe we're nearing the 20-year anniversary of that rant.
Wow.
I mean, that was one of the all-timers. I didn't hear it live.
Yeah.
Somebody linked it on a website, on a message board, and it's just
what
one
was
of those.
The Colorado coach that said about intramurals?
That was Dan Hawkins.
Okay, thank you. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because they
go play intramurals, brother.
That came out before they played Alabama in the Weed Eater Bowl.
That's right. And then
Saban's
that was
first year, and
that was before, when Coach Kynes halftime.
Hopefully, he's going to get some dubs over there at taking over the Hatton program. But we could probably call Nikita Stover and get his thoughts on his somersault into the end zone where Nick Saban did have a coronary. As he scored the first touchdown of the game, but he did get a penalty for doing a somersault into the end zone. That was Nikita's last game at Alabama.
So imagine a very younger me having to cut up Larry Munson inside on sports. I just.
And see, that's the thing. Mike Valente's rant was the year before because, again, they were drilling Notre Dame and let them off the hook.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Now it's starting to connect.
But
I'm telling you, for me,
I never saw the rabbit.
It always resonates. But this is why I reached out to my old boss and was like, I need some more of insight on. No, sorry, it's not going to happen.
Well,
not going to happen.
I'll just say the whole segment with Valente was 18 minutes, and he went 11 minutes straight almost without taking a breath.
I promised you I would play what Reese and Dan Wetzel had to say about Alabama. Right. I'm going to hold that for the final segment.
There you go.
At least I'm going to try to. Never saw the rabbit.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window. Now is the time to take advantage of their huge end of summer sale and get ready for the fall. Right now, all windows are 35% off. All exterior doors are 40% off. Now you get the whole door, just the price is 40% off. And get this, 0% interest for 18 months, as in no interest, nada, none. As always, the estimates are free, as is the lifetime warranty. To make an appointment, go to yourhomewindow.com. That's yourhomewindow.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures drop into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. We might be starting the day with a little bit of patchy, dense fog. A mostly to partly sunny sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, and then dropping into the low 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures again climbing into the mid and upper 80s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Next pitch is drilled. Deep to left field. Back goes Edsel. At the wall. It's out of here. A home run. Like a tomato. Ketchup squished it.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
I am just not going to have time for because it's fairly long, but I do have time to play this. Bruce Feldman went on Rich Eisen earlier today. I mean, Caden Proctor is on the freak list. He's number 2 on the freak list. Bruce Feldman explained why.
The number 2 guy on the list, Caden Proctor, is a 6'7", 366-pound left tackle for Alabama. His strength numbers are insane. The numbers that blew me away when maybe do a triple take were when I saw he vertical jumped 32 inches and broad jumps, 9.5 feet.
It's insane. It's crazy.
It is insane. So you're around the combine every year. Right?
And it gets freakier every year.
There are 5 receivers at the NFL Combine this year who didn't jump that high. Chad Johnson, all-time great player. He wouldn't jump that high. And this guy weighs 150 pounds, almost 200 pounds more. It's insane.
It's crazy.
Can you, just wrap your head around that?
Well, he certainly has the tools. He needs to be more consistent. Now, I do think his toughness and there's a difference between playing injured and playing hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And he figured out how to play hurt last year.
Yeah.
Because he tore his labrum and missed the first game and did not play against Western Kentucky. If everybody remembers, they had to pull him out of the starting lineup after warm-ups, but then he strapped it up, shot up, and played the rest of the season with a torn labrum. Yeah. And that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
And he had some issues with toughness and playing hurt, when he was a freshman. So he came a long way in that aspect. But he is supremely talented. There's a reason he was a 5-star. There's a reason, Iowa's turned out a ton of really good offensive linemen over the years. There's a reason the Hawkeyes wanted him so badly. And if he is consistent this year, he could go in the top 5 in the draft. He could even perceivably, if everything lined up perfectly and Alabama won the national championship and he was dominant with the value of left tackles in the NFL. And if Arch Manning does stay at Texas another year, which I expect.
Archie pretty much went
there. I think that he could be the first pick, depending on who's the worst team in football.
Yep.
Say you're the Carolina Panthers and you're once again not good. Now, I still think you have to continue to try to develop Bryce Young, but would you be open to drafting a left tackle number 1 to protect Bryce Young? I would still say I'd lean more top 5, but it's not inconceivable with a dominant year and Alabama having a great year as a team.
I think Keldrick Falk at Auburn has a decent shot of being a top 3,
One
top
of the
5
biggest
pick.
misses of the Saban era. He went to see him at Highland Home High School. For some reason, didn't push. And don't forget, he was going to go play at Florida State for Mike Norvell.
I forgot about that.
But Hugh Freeze flipped him when he got the job. Just imagine that.
Hugh
Yeah.
Freeze.
Right. Hugh Freeze.
Appreciate you coming in.
I enjoyed it.
Double dose of Drew tomorrow. Morning
9
show.
o'clock, 9/11.
And the Blitz.
Yeah.
Have fun.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event at Woody Anderson Ford. Hey folks, Bobby White back again, and I'm here to tell you now is the time to get the Ford you've been thinking about. From 0 down leases to 0